You said yesterday you're pretty optimistic Corey will be in the lineup today. He's not on the roster. What's changed in the 24 hours?
It improved, but enough to warrant him being out there. It's still sore. It's still sore and hasn't moved around. And to see that he can be, not only take the field, but to be effective out there. I think that we had to weigh everything. And Corey was open to everything, but at the end, we decided that with the lefties that they got potentially going against us and having Charlie being able to catch the baseball at short and like him against a left-handed pitcher, it just made sense for us to kind of not have Corey on the roster.
Get in.
Andy.
I mean, is it fair to say that if you felt like he would be ready by Game 3, he would be on the roster and he'd play with 24 for a couple days?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So is there a scenario in which you just rule him out basically for this series regardless of what happens to anyone else on the roster?
Right now, where we're at, yeah. I mean, if we saw him ready for Game 3, then but now when you're talking Game 4, then it's like things that we don't even know what's going to happen. So I think that for right now, where we're at, it's day to day. But to your earlier question, if it was Game 3, then we would have probably done something different. But so that's as far as I think that we can forecast anyway. So he's day to day. We're hopeful that he continues to improve, and as this series takes shape, then we'll make decisions according to his own.
Next question. Here in the middle.
Dave, to know who is pitching today for the Cubs this late, does it make any difference to you as you view the game?
No, it doesn't. They, as long as we know who's pitching by game time, we'll be ready. So we know we're ready.
JP down front.
We were told that Corey hurt himself sliding into second base there. That was in the first inning of Game 3. What was the feeling at the time? And in hindsight, is there anything you guys could have done or could have known to have prevented this?
No. I think it got to the point where he was getting stretched out in the middle of the game, and we asked him and the training staff if he could keep going, and he was adamant that he was fine. And I think that the adrenaline, and after the game was over, the adrenaline subsides, and then there's more kind of soreness or tightening up or whatever it might be, I think kind of took place. And as the next days, the following days, it just got worse, I guess. And so he had an epidural and try to keep it at bay. So, and with that, there was improvement each day. So to your question, I don't see we could have done anything different because once he slid, the injury had occurred.
When was the epidural?
It was the day after, I think it was the day after that last game in Arizona.
Here on the left.
Dave, you mentioned Culberson, against lefties. Is he in there today? And also, what's your plan at short for the remainder of the series?
Culberson is starting at short, hitting 8th today.
Dylan.
Okay, so yesterday you said your exact words were that you were very optimistic that he'd be in there today. So did it just not improve as much as
It just didn't improve as much, optimistic, hopeful. And Corey was too. And as it came down to setting your roster and feeling, is he able to feel confident in his body to not only be out there, but to perform? So that's something that the doctors and training staff decided that to have him active wouldn't be the right thing to do.
I mean, do you guys test this at all? Did you run? Were there any
No, that's part of it is that there's tests that he did in the training room, but to get on the field, he hasn't done that. And so the first part of that is he's got to be able to show he can run or swing a bat to even really consider being active.
So we're not sure he can even run at this point then?
Well, right now he hasn't run.
Has he had an MRI or any kind of detailed tests?
Not that no. I know that he got the epidural and the scans. I think they had a scan, but I don't know which scan they took, if it was an MRI or CT. There was a scan, and all it showed was basically a sprain in his back. So it's more muscular, and he just can't beat it right now.
I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but theoretically, I mean, if you guys do get past this round, I mean, is there a possibility, given the fact that he can't run it, or, you know, that we don't know that he can run at this stage, that he might not be ready for the World Series?
Well, I think anything's possible. But again, we're hopeful that he will continue to improve, which he has, but enough to warrant having him active this series, not enough. But with treatment, medication, hopefully in the coming days it'll get better where we can go out there and test it. And you know, if we get to the World Series and you know, when that does happen, then that'll be a discussion I'm sure we'll have.